it's Robin Pollock, and I wanted to welcome you to the video that goes along with your PDF about the frequency of joy. So, when you think about the frequency of joy, it's sort of like a mind bending idea. And if you think about the fact that all of us have energy, good energy, bad energy, and there really is no bad energy, just to be clear, it's just some energy feels light and fluffy and like you want to spend all the time. Think of a time in your life or that you had a really exceptional day. It was really great. And when you came home and you sat down and you started to take your shoes off and you were thinking about your day, you had this stream of energy that was going in your body, and you were like, oh, we have to do that again. I have to do that again. That was amazing. And every time you think about that day, you bring it back right to the front and you allow yourself to almost experience it again, right? And now I want you to think about a time that wasn't so good. That maybe things didn't go so well. And that there are even some disappointments along the way. And when you think about that day, you're thinking, if it's perfectly fine with me if that never happens again, right? And you can feel how heavy it feels, like you're walking through mud even, right? But sometimes that good and that bad feeling don't always happen over the course of an entire day, right? Sometimes that bad feeling sort of cuts in the middle of a perfectly normal day, a regular day. Because the thing is that life happens all the time. And you get phone calls and you get conversations with people where it influences our interaction and our behavior and our response to them. And where does that come from, right? Well, that comes from our own experiences, the experiences that we've had from before that moment. So if I'm going about my merry day, right, and then I find out something that's not so pivotal but annoying, then maybe I get a text message that says, oh, my Instacart's not going to be coming. So is this devastating? No. Is it annoying? Yeah. And maybe it's really annoying because I really didn't want to go out shopping and I really didn't want to go in the car and I didn't want to go out to have to go buy the things. But it won't be crushing, right? We could all swing through that and make it work and figure out another plan. So let's think of something that's a little bit more challenging. Perhaps you were supposed to go on a flight. Happens all the time to people, right? And the flight gets canceled. You're at the airport, you're already checked your luggage, right? And the flight's delayed. It's delayed. And now, you get yourself into a restaurant and you're thinking about it and you're like positive, it's going to work. It's going to work. But the people around you who you're traveling with, not so much. They're not positive. They're like, oh, this is never going to work. We're going to lose our trip. Oh my God. And they're negative. And you can feel the energy of their negativity bringing you down. Now, we're not responsible for anybody else's positive, negative belief systems. That's theirs. But how do you stay in the positive when you're surrounded all around you by people who are basically pulling you down? Well, the way is by remembering that feeling, that positive energy feeling that you have in your body when you felt that something positive was going to happen. What did you believe to be true? What did you allow yourself to experience? And how did you allow yourself to receive it? So sometimes some people think, well, you just have to stay neutral. Don't think positive and don't think negative. I find that this approach doesn't work for me. I need to stay positive. I need to have a thought moving forward, and I see myself actually getting on the plane picking up its wheels, and me taking off. I create a timeline where the thing that I desire actually is happening. And then I hold on to that idea. So when you want to try and manifest something, when you want to try and create something in a positive light, you create an experience that allows you to see the end the way that you actually imagine it to be. When you try and adjust your emotional frequency, your joy, and all these things that are happening all around you, and have other people match yours, it's really just too much. You cannot, and also there's free will, so you really can't worry about the entire group. All you can do is worry about you and your frequency, your emotional state of happiness. And you're going to find that when you start to do this, that neutral position that you might have thought was the way to go, you could see how that neutral position still leaves you in this place of vulnerability against all the naysayers. But when you actually can create a vision in your mind of what you actually want to have happening, and you create that sensation and that positive affect of what's going to happen, you can allow yourself and your emotions and all your ideas to create the final outcome of what you actually want. If you do this, a lot of people say, well, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't see the end with me and the plane taking off. What if it doesn't happen? Well, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But the experience from the time that you're waiting to get onto that plane will be very different for you than it will be for the naysayers. And I have to say, I found that the easiest way to create a high vibration is when you allow yourself to experience joy and allow that joy into a forward idea. So a forward idea is seeing yourself getting on the plane, seeing yourself being called to go to your seat, putting your luggage on top of your seat, sitting down, putting your phone where it needs to go and your water where it needs to go. Like, do all the things that you do when you get on a plane. Actually see it happening. And every time you allow yourself to do that, when you see it actually happening, when you see it actually coming true, you're not allowing your brain to go into a place of panic, worrying about what might happen in the future if it doesn't work. And also, you're creating a space where the thing that you're desiring, the thing that you are hoping for, is actually going to occur. And so when you do that, your whole affect changes. And it changes the way that you experience the moment. It can be very simple to say all these things, but it is not always simple to do all these things, because many people fall into the negatives. The plane's not going to come, we're not going to get on it, we're going to get bumped, we're not going to get on that flight, right? Where are we going to hang out? It's going to take 6 hours. Are they going to give us a room? Where are we going to eat breakfast? They're already into the next day, and this just happened 5 minutes ago. So you can see how if you allow that spin of negativity to go, it has its own life and legs, right? So I say, create your own life and legs in a positive viewpoint, where you can actually see yourself participating in the activity that you want to participate in. And sometimes what I do, well, pretty much all the time, before I even leave the house, as I'm brushing my teeth in the morning, getting ready to go, I see myself taking the Uber. I see myself getting dropped off, getting through security with not a long line. making my way to the gate, which isn't a long walk. I don't know about you, but every single time I used to get a gate, it used to be on the other end. I felt like I was walking across a football field. So now, this is me. I'm like, okay, and I see myself going to the gate, and there's a car or a little cart that can take me to the gate so I don't have to walk for 45 minutes, right? And then I'm going to get to the gate, and conveniently the bathrooms will be right there. And there'll also be a place for me to get a snack. And I'm going to board the plane, and it's going to take off, and we're going to be safe flying, safe landing. And when I get out, my luggage will be there. Funny story is, the last time I did this, I forgot to say something about the fact that the plane will be intact and ready to go. I forgot to say that. And we went to go to leave on the taxiing runway, and a piece of the center of the plane fell down, so we had to go back and have them put the piece on top. Nobody got hurt or anything. It was just more of a 3-hour delay. But I did remember to say the thing about the luggage. I did remember to say the thing about security. I did remember to say the thing about my neighbor in my seat being, nice and friendly. I did remember about the car to take me to the gate. I remembered all of that. But I forgot to say the thing about that the plane will be intact and safe. So, when you say all the things, when you whistle for all the things, remember to cover all your bases. If they don't happen and you don't think of them all, it's okay. But I'm just telling you, when you create these scenarios in your mind, you can get very detailed, and the more detailed you are, it actually creates this really bright picture in your mind of what you actually are looking to create and experience. And that action of doing that saves you from allowing yourself to spin in your mind a negative tale or be sucked into negative energy around you that's talking about things that could happen that are not fruitful, that are not positive. So, a lot of people say, so how do you do this every day in your life? You can't live like this. And I want to say, I really try to. I do. I try to. And, I can call the gardener, and this just happened actually. Called the gardener, and I asked him to come and take the bushes out of my backyard because my dog keeps scratching his head in the bushes, and it was becoming a problem. And I was getting frustrated because they weren't calling me back. And I just decided, you know what? I'm not going to get frustrated. They're going to call me back. And then the next day they showed up. Literally, I'm telling you. Showed up, and they did such a great job. They took everything out. It was wonderful. So you can do this in any situation. You can allow yourself to get pulled into the negativity, or you can allow yourself to believe that the positive outcome is what's going to play out. And you get to experience it and live it, It doesn't have to always be perfect, but the ride along the way will be so much more pleasurable and positive for you. I'm taking a drink of water. If you put that joy into your ideas, into your plan, and you create a forward plan of what you actually want to happen, and not allow yourself to dwell in all the things that could go wrong. I really believe that a lot of us focus on the negative because it's easier than thinking that things will go right. So this PDF and this video is asking you to shift your perspective and shift your idea and shift the way you think about things and create a positive forward momentum and live in the frequency of joy. Thanks so much for tuning in today. This is Robin Pollock. And I hope to speak to you again soon, and that you enjoy my book, Trust Your Intuition. And if you're interested in any other things that I am doing, check out my website, robinspollack.com, and look for free gifts on there with meditations and music. All kinds of fun things are on there. And I hope I get to speak to you in person. And let me know how this works. Try it out. Message me, email me, and let me know how you experience the frequency of joy.